inspiring.
Well, that was a lot of fun.
You're watching CTV Sports. Yeah! Let's go!
The CSU softball team finally hosted their first game at home. Wide receiver Olabisi Johnson competed at the NFL Combine, and the men's and women's basketball team both fell to Mountain West Foe, New Mexico. Good evening, Ram fans. I'm Maddie Warren.
And I'm Cory Odom. Maddie, it was another crazy weekend in CSU sports. But let's get started by bouncing back to the women's basketball game.
The Colorado State women's basketball team hosted the New Mexico Lobos Saturday afternoon for Senior Day. Seniors Tatum Newbert and Rochelle Marble were recognized before the game, and Newbert put herself in the top performances for her final matchup in Moby. Unfortunately for the Rams, Newbert's 13 points, in addition to Mayan Ham's 14, weren't enough to put the Rams over New Mexico. Ham forced 2 turnovers, but was unable to capitalize on the steals. Newbert was able to guard Lobos senior Jason Nunn under the net, but that just pushed UNM out to the arc, where they were extremely productive. Multiple players hit several threes for New Mexico, but what was most impressive was their ball movement. Only 4 of their 27 field goals were unassisted, leading to the final score of 79-56 in favor of UNM. After Saturday's win for the Lobos, they now sit 1 game behind Boise State for first in the conference. As for the Rams, they head on the road for 2 final games to finish off their regular season. After the game, CTV was able to speak to Newbert on her last game at Moby Arena.
Being able to play my last year of basketball at home in front of, I have so many friends in my family, my parents are here today, and the girls made this the best year that I've had in college yet. So it was just, it's bittersweet being able to end the year, but, hopefully it was on a better note than this, but,
As for the men's basketball team, they were out at the pit looking to extend their winning streak to 4 games. Instead, their streak was snapped at 3. Both Anthony Massenham-Bonner and Hiron Edwards were out with injuries, and the Rams needed Nico Carvaccio and JD Page to help balance the loss of those two. However, their efforts fell just short against the Lobos. At the glass, New Mexico out-rebounded CSU 47-26. UNM was also led by sophomore Makuwak Malawak, who logged a season-high 23 points. For the Rams, Carvaccio is leading another list, besides just leading the nation in rebounding. Carvaccio hit his 20th double-double of the season, which is the best in the Mountain West, and he now leads their conference with 23 career game double-doubles. Despite that title for Carvaccio, the Rams fell to Lobos 77-65.
We are now joined by the Collegian's Eddie Herz to talk about the Mountain West tournament coming up next week. Eddie, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah.
So looking at the men's basketball team, obviously moving into the Mountain West tournament in a week here, and despite their loss to New Mexico, what was supposed to be a rebuilding year has actually been pretty productive for them. What have you seen from the team that has kind of showed that? I
just think their sense of togetherness overall. You've got 2 freshmen, Adam Thistlewood and Kendall Moore, who immediately stepped into big roles, and they've done well with that and have progressed throughout the season. Just overall, the team chemistry is good. Obviously, the wins aren't there yet how they'd like to be, but you've seen positive strides. This team is the best shooting team in the Mountain West. They need some rebounding help down the stretch next year, but there's definitely signs for progression in the future.
Yeah, so Carvaccio is definitely consistent. He averages 16 points in losses and 18 points in wins. Who do you want to see step up from who's left on the team?
That's a good question. I mean, you put the Mountain West tournament in my head. If I'm going to think about that, you need all-around efficient play. Everyone's got to do their part. But someone specifically that sticks out is probably Chris Martin. He's not consistent in his first year with CSU, but when he's on, he's really a difference maker. For example, in CSU's recent 3-game win streak, he's averaging 16 points a game, 5 assists, 6 rebounds, does a little bit of everything. So when he's on, CSU can really win games. So I'm going to watch him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he seems like he's been really smart with his shots and, when he wants to pass and when he wants to pull up for a shot. And one thing I've seen kind of with the team is falling back into habits of when they were under Eustace and looking at, Nico Carvaccio and JD Page, the vets on the team. And it kind of feels like JD wants to be a little bit more of like the playmaker and not really passing the ball much. And so how do you, is that kind of hard to come in with a new coaching staff and not want to fall back into those old habits?
I get that. I think for JD specifically in his senior year, and the Mountain West tournament will be his last Mountain West tournament, it may be hard for him to give up the ball. I think he'll do a good job of doing that. I mean, this team wants to make a run. They know how they can play when they put everything together. And sometimes the ball in JD's hand, as we've seen, is a good thing, especially in the second half of games when he can take over.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Let's look into tomorrow, right? They're playing Utah State, who just beat the number 17 ranked Nevada.
Yeah.
What do you think they can do to kind of prepare for such a tough opponent?
Yeah, I'm not going to say that's easy. I think the one hope is that maybe Utah State's feeling a little hungover after such a big win that probably punched their bid to the NCAA tournament. Good for them. I mean, Utah State's the leading rebounding team in the Mountain West, where, as we know, rebounding is CSU's biggest area of concern. It's not going to be easy. Sam Merrill coming off a 29-point game. I don't see CSU containing him very well. I think, as I said, the only hope is that hopefully they're hungover and a little drained from a high-emotion win at home. Yeah.
Well, let's just hope that they're drained then. Well, thanks, Eddie. Ram fans, that's all we have for you right now, but don't go anywhere, because up next is Castro's Cut. And then later in the show, we will bring you recaps from softball and the NFL Combine. Stay tuned.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and swore that's all I'd ever be. Said a bottle couldn't see the ocean. Give up. Go back to the dumpster. But I didn't listen. I made my way. And now, I am what I've always wanted to be.
I'm Leatus Castro, here to give you the rundown of what's to come up in CSU Sports this week. It's going to be an exciting one, so without further ado, let's get rolling right into it. We're going to start off with women's basketball. They've got a big week ahead of them. 3 events specifically this week. They're actually going to be in Utah State right now. That game is getting ready to tip off as we speak. Game is supposed to start at 7 in the evening for you. We're going to see how the Rams can hold up, see if they can bounce back after a tough weekend, and then on Thursday, they're going to be heading over to California to take on UNLV, game also starting at 7 in the evening. And then when we take a look at the weekend, we're looking at the Mountain West Championships for women's basketball. They're starting off on Sunday, and you can check back with us right here, same place, same time, Monday night. We're going to give you the recap for that, don't you worry. Next, we're taking a look at men's basketball. They've got 2 events coming up this week. Tomorrow, Moby Arena, also taking on Utah State. Game starts at 7 in the evening. Then on Saturday, UNLV comes here to Moby Arena, 2 in the afternoon for you. See, the Rams will be looking to see if they can also bounce back after a tough week. Women's tennis, they wrote a different story. They are starting off pretty strong here at home, and they're going to look to see if they can carry that momentum again against UNC Greensboro Spartans on Thursday. We're going to have Ethan Bird, Ryan Chris covering that action for you. Don't you worry. Next, we're taking a look at track. Huge event. We had 3 of your track members coming in to qualify for the NCAA Indoor Championship. You got 3 members, senior Kelsey Bedard, senior Mary Beth Sant, and sophomore Taryn Seed competing for you. You're going to see the 60-meter shot put and weight throw, all from them. We're going to keep you updated. Don't you worry. That's also what you can look forward to on the Monday updates. Next, we move over to the softball squad. Colorado State Classic, Part 2. 3 teams, 3 days, Friday through Sunday. Wagner is going to start it off on Friday, and then Dayton and Syracuse are going to finish up on Saturday and Sunday. Double headers on those days for you. Rams on the softball team, they're doing pretty well. They're going to see if they can look to keep going this weekend. Next, we take a look at the baseball squad, also having a strong start here at home. They're going to be taking on School of Mines. That's going to be on Saturday and Sunday. 2 games on Saturday and Sunday, both starting at noon and 2:30 for both days. They're going to get pretty familiar with each other, so we're going to look to see how that weekend progresses for them. We move into lacrosse. They have 1 matchup this week. CSU versus Clemson. 2 in the afternoon on Saturday. They had a little bit of a rough going in Arizona, so they're going to look to see if they can bounce back when they come back home here, specifically to Loveland on Saturday. Finally, we finish it up with soccer. CSU has their first women's soccer game of the season, taking on DU in Canvas Stadium at 5 in the evening. Under the bright lights, it should be a fun time. I know I'm excited. I hope you are as well. All right, Rams, that's all we have coming up for the week, so you know what time it is. It's time for your top play of the week. Let's roll it. Softball, like I said, they are doing some work. And right here is just one of the main big plays that you see. Amber Nelson coming in with a huge home run. Perfect contact. You can't ask for anything better. The Rams are just killing it. Even pitched a no-hitter in one of the games. It just keeps going uphill for them. So Let's keep rolling for it. See if they can keep doing, keep doing what they're doing. All right, Rams, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we got the Triple J Pick'em Challenge coming up for you next. Jason, Jessica, and Jared coming at you with all the action. Jason, no longer in first place. Didn't last too long. I'm so sorry, Jason. We'll be right back.
Okay, so we drowned the fire, stirred it, drowned it again, and now just feel if it's cold.
Yeah.
Cool.
Smokey just gave me a bear hug.
I know. Already posted it.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
How's it going, Ram fans? I'm Jessica Mendoza, joined by Jared Stratton and Jason Ortiz, and we're back with another week of the Triple J Pick'em Challenge. So looking back at last week, you know what game I think really got me was, well, actually none of them, because I went 3 for 3. And you know what? Just for that, I brought a little gift for you guys today. Here's an L for each of you. Come on, Jason, an L. Here, we'll just set it right here so everyone can.
There we go.
Get that out of here. You know, you guys tried to get me with the Kentucky and Tennessee game, saying it would be so embarrassing if I picked them again and they lost. Stuck with my heart, and it didn't let me down. The Nuggets won, obviously. Me and Jared got that one. But Jared, that's what, the only one you got right last week?
Don't want to talk about it. It's in the past.
That's what I thought. And I guess I should mention my half point. I am winning by half a point at this point. I do have that because of a few weeks ago I called the half-court shot from the Duke-Virginia game, so I think Jared wanted me to bring that one up because he's a little salty about it.
Yeah, what you're saying is that we're tied and that you predicted a half-court shot.
Hey, I predicted it and I was right.
All right, I'm going to predict that I'm going to win this semester. I'm going to say something that's actually important. All right, you want to go into the picks now so we can get into this? I'm not happy with that L.
Well, we are into a new week of picks, so let's go ahead with pick number 1. CSU will host Utah State from Moby Arena tomorrow night. So, Jason, what do you got here?
Utah State, all the way. They just came off riding high against Nevada. They're probably, honestly, right now, the best team in the Mountain West. And not skill-wise, but they are playing the best. Sam Merrill, the dude's nuts. He's probably going to drop about 30 or 40 against CSU if he doesn't get pulled out early for rest. Because this is Utah State's last game of the season, which is unfortunate for them because they can't win the Mountain West outright if Nevada wins both their games. But, yeah, Sam Merrill, can't beat him.
Yeah, it's not just him. It's their entire team, like you said. And I'm taking Utah State, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you can't take CSU in this one. And for CSU right now, the best thing they can think of is how to learn from this and how to learn from, they know it's going to be a loss. Yeah. Like, I want to be rude to the Rams, but this is Nico Carvaccio's team and only Nico Carvaccio's team. Ooh. He's the only player that's really standing out for them. And Utah State is not only leading the Mountain West in rebounds, which negates Carvaccio, but they're also leading in assists, blocks, and points. And if you foul them going up, they're also leading in free throw percentage. There's no way they're losing this one.
All right, Jared, I agree with you guys both here, but how can you say this is only Nico Carvaccio's team when literally last week when you picked CSU to beat UNM, you guys were ranting on about how CSU has got all these weapons, how they were going to beat UNM, and I got that one right. I was right.
I only mentioned Carvaccio, but we can pull up tape if you like.
But that was enough to beat UNM, but not Utah State?
Well, Utah State's #1 right now.
I mean, hey, we're in agreement here. I guess we don't have to fight about this one. But I'm just
Apparently.
saying, you guys like to change your
It's your
change
fault.
your minds.
Stop it.
But yeah, I agree for the same reasons as you guys. CSU's coming off a big loss, and Utah State's coming off with a huge win, so definitely.
But moving on to the second pick. We have #4 Duke heading to Chapel Hill on Saturday to take on the ACC foe and #3 ranked UNC. Now, the only person that disagrees with what's going on right now is you, Jess, so I'm going to let you lead this one in.
Okay. Well, I definitely expected this from Jason, as he's a big Duke fan. But I think, Jared, I expected more from you here. We saw what happened last time, and I definitely don't see Zion Williamson being back for this game here. If you guys think Zion Williamson, we can make a mini bet on that one. If you want your half point back, we can make a mini bet on that one.
Yeah.
Right now.
You think he's going to be back?
Yes.
I'll shake on it. There we go.
Perfect.
Why would they bring him back for this game when so much is on the line?
Because Coach K actually announced today that Zion Williamson is in the final preparations. He may go against Wake Forest tomorrow.
He literally said, like, 12 hours ago, we are not in any hurry to get Williamson back on
We're
the
talking
court.
about right now, not 12 hours ago.
Why would he change his mind like that? Why is Coach K doing this to me?
He said he's in his final preparation to get back on the court. He's unsure if he's going to play against Wake Forest, but that means he'll be back for UNC.
So let's say Zion doesn't come back. Who wins?
Duke.
Duke.
Okay.
RJ Barrett and Cam Reddish are still on Duke's roster.
Yeah, just like
so
the
is Coach
last
K.
game, RJ Barrett had 33 points, Cam Reddish had 27, and the rest of the entire team had 12 points. I think it's kind of
the rest of the team.
They had to finally adjust because their entire team revolved around Zion, and they had, when he went down, they had to change their entire game
They're
plan.
still not adjusted. They just lost a couple days ago.
The only people that really beat Duke, and pardon me for saying this, is Nike. They're the only one that have beaten them so far.
Well, I truly hope that Zion Williamson does come back healthy. I think I wish the best for him, but I wouldn't agree with that.
If Zion Williamson comes back,
it's not even going to be close.
He's going to put Luke May underground. Because
Are you kidding me?
Luke May dropped 30, and the only guy that can guard him is Zion. So Luke May is not going to have a chance if Zion plays.
All right, guys.
The #1 player in the country against some guy from Chapel Hill.
A generational player, actually.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see. We'll see.
I'm just saying. Zion's an animal. So, taking a look at pick 3, let's talk NBA. The Denver Nuggets are heading to Oracle Arena on Friday to take on the Golden State Warriors. So, Jared, what do you got here?
Okay, now this game is going to be fun because the teams are finally healthy. And I'm not talking about DeMarcus Boogie Cousins. I'm talking about former MVP candidate Isaiah Thomas. And he's looking like a beast out there. And if you don't believe me, let's roll the clip. Ryan, let's roll it.
Some cover downs, one by OKC and the next one by Denver, where no one's quitting on the play. Oh, my.
The game that Jason got wrong last week. I love that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I didn't get it wrong because I knew the depth that they had. And guess what? He's not even a starter on their team.
Facts.
He is a former MVP candidate, and he's not even a starter. And that's how they've been winning.
Yep.
They've been outlasting, thank you, by the way. They've been outlasting all of their teams. And I can tell you this right now. The Warriors do have one of the top 5. Like, not top 5. They have one of the best starting 5 in the NBA, if not the best. But behind them, who else do they have? That's what I'm saying. The Nuggets have their entire team. Their entire team. The Nuggets' entire team is just starters. Even their backups. They could be starters on any other team.
Okay, well, let's just address that the last time these two teams met, the Warriors won. And they won 142 to 111.
But the time when they played that, when they're both healthy, Nuggets won.
That was the second or third game of the season.
They were both healthy.
So those games, you guys were talking earlier, those games don't even matter. Whatever.
We're talking about healthy teams, and I just said, I showed you a healthy player.
Yeah, what he said. That's why I'm picking the Nuggets. What he said.
Okay. Well, I'm picking the Warriors here. Obviously, I'm picking them because they lead the league in most categories, especially the Nuggets. We talk about how well the Nuggets move around the ball, their fluidity of their offense. But the one team that beats them in that is the Warriors. They're #1 with assists. They have a better shooting percentage all around the court. I just think that they can score at will, and I think it's going to be a challenge for these Nuggets to stop them. I think this Nuggets team is a great team. This is the best they've been in so long. We all know that. I talked about it last week. They are for real this year, but I just think that the Warriors are going to beat them.
Okay. And?
They're going to beat them. What do you have to say?
Nothing. I just agree with Jared. Go Nugs. Yeah. I honestly have no idea.
Nothing to say.
No, I just dislike Steph Curry. So that's why I didn't want to choose the Warriors. Kevin Durant's a traitor. Boogie sold out for less money than he could have made somewhere else.
And all he does is get ejected.
Yeah.
So you're just picking because you don't like the players.
Exactly. And I like the Nuggets a little more, not as much. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Good luck with that.
Go Jared. Yeah, Nuggets.
That's like their 4th high five. I think that at least deserves
half a point.
Yeah, half a point.
So we're all tied now.
Yeah, I think we're tied.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all have gold.
I'm winning now.
Well, Ram fans, that is all we have for the Triple J Pick'em Challenge this week. But head to our Twitter page now to vote on who you think should, if we should remove that half point that Jessica has.
Why would we do that?
Yes, it's a technicality.
I earned that point.
It's a technicality.
We just earned it.
You guys laughed in my page.
0.75.
Stop five-fiving in my face. I earned that point. We're not removing that. So go on Twitter and vote right now. And stay tuned, Ram fans, because up next, Cory and Maddie are back with another week of Flip or Flop. So don't go anywhere.
Well, Thomas, you've got pre-diabetes. But with more exercise and a change in diet, it can be reversed.
I've tried exercising. It just makes me hungry for bacon.
I love bacon, too. And who really likes to exercise?
Not me.
Me neither.
Nobody. So we're good?
What? Oh, you still have pre-diabetes. Big time.
They told me a bottle couldn't dream. That I would never become a superhero. But I learned how to fly. Just to come back in a new disguise. And be the hero that I've always wanted to be.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. The CSU softball team held their first home tournament this past weekend, and it was easy to say that it was a hit. Well, not so much for Idaho State. The Rams pitcher Bridget Hutton threw the first no-hitter for the Rams since 2016 in a rout. The Rams started off with a 3-0 lead in the first inning, and that was just a warm-up. The game would only last 5 innings, with the 4th and 5th inning combining for 11 runs for the Rams. Lauren Buchanan went 3 for 3 in the game, bringing in 5 RBIs, as the Rams coasted to an easy victory, 16-0.
The Rams took on Nebraska Cornhuskers in a game that would span over 24 hours. Oh, but don't worry, they weren't playing that whole time. The game started on Thursday before darkness caused the game to be ended on Friday. The Thursday portion of which the game in Nebraska getting an unearned run after an error allowed a runner on base, and a single and another error brought the runner home. The Rams would hold the Huskers to the rest of the inning and rev up their offense in that same inning, scoring off a 2-run homer for the third of the season for the senior catcher out of Kansas, Lauren Buchanan. The game was 10-6 when darkness fell on the field after 5 innings. Friday began with the Rams scoring 1 run in each of the 2 innings left, and the Huskers looked to make it interesting with a run in the 6th and 2 in the final inning. One of which was by a double by Bree Boroff, who went 3 for 4 on the day. Ultimately, it wasn't enough as the Huskers fall 12-9.
For day 2, the CSU softball team knocked it out of the park, and the Rams took on the Stony Brook Seawolves for their first game Friday afternoon. CSU was quick to cross the plate, putting up 3 runs in just the first inning, one of those coming from a solo shot straight over the center field fence from Amber Nelson. Then it was Danny Klein's turn, and with a 2-run homer, she extended the Rams' lead to 5-1. Stony Brook's Jordan Nowakowski doubled in the lone run for the Seawolves. A few more RBIs, and Colorado State finished the game in 5 innings, 9-1.
While CSU's softball team had a successful weekend at home, this weekend was one of the most important weekends for a lot of young men's lives. As the NFL Combine rolls around again with big names like Dwayne Haskins and Kyler Murray, as well as Nick Bosa attempting to cement themselves as top picks. One of CSU's own is attempting to make a name for himself. Olabisi Johnson, a senior out of Lakewood, Colorado, who finished his best season of his career with almost 800 yards and 4 touchdown catches. Johnson ran a respectable 4.5 140 before showing off his hands in the gauntlet. Scouts would have liked to see him ride the line a little bit closer and run with more urgency, but time will tell if Johnson did enough. Thursday, April 25th, we'll start off the NFL draft, and we will make sure to keep an eye on Johnson until then. Well, Maddie, you know what time it is. Let's break down this week's Flip or Flop. Today we sent out a video of Tatum Newbert from Saturday's game. Does she get the flip for 3 or does she flop and it go over the basket? It looks as though, in a close one, 59% think she hits the 3.
Yeah, I don't know, Cory. I know why it's close because I don't even know really what happens. There's really no way to tell. And I think I was in the 59% that's hoping that it goes in, but I have no idea.
I said it was a flop. I always do. So.
Of course. we gotta disagree on something, right? Well, let's take a look at what really happened. So the ball moved around the arc and Newbert went up for the 3 and the ball, nothing but net. Okay, so I was right. It was a beautiful, beautiful shot. One of her 2 threes for that game too, so it was
She
really
swished
nice.
That too. That wasn't even close.
I know.
Oh, that hurts me.
It was beautiful.
That hurts. I got that so wrong.
Well, before we go, Ram fans, it looks like the CSU women's team is up 21-14 against the Utah State Aggies. It's currently the end of the first quarter, and they're going to be looking for Laura DeVos to be really aggressive driving in that net like she has been for the Rams, and hopefully seeing a little bit more aggression from the rest of the team as well, because they're going to need somebody other than just DeVos.
Yeah, let's see who steps up. But for updates on that game and highlights from this week, be sure to follow us on Twitter at sports_CTV or head to collegian.com. I'm Cory Odom.
And I'm Maddie Warren. Be sure to tune back in tomorrow for more news from the people you know and to see Tara Barrio and Rachel Hallam bringing you highlights from tennis, baseball, and a live update from tomorrow's basketball game. Same place, same channel. We'll see you next week, Rams.